Pakistan, a South Asian country, is in big trouble in today's economical scenario. The first reason is their foreign reserve. They only have less than $22 billion. That is very less for 22 million populations. If their foreign reserve gone dry, then their country will going to face energy crisis, food crisis, and the other all kind of crises. That will going to put their country in chaos, and that will also going to lead the disintegrations of the Pakistans, like Soviet Union was also disintegrated on the basis of economical crisis. Almost all essential goods come to Pakistan are imported from other nations, especially China and Middle East. And the second reason is China itself, whom Pakistan consider as their true friend. But this vicious Asian giant slowly but steadily eating Pakistan's economy. And because of them, Pakistan is losing in the game of geoeconomics and the strategic economical balance, which is vulnerable for any country in South Asian region. Hello everyone, welcome to the Power Academy. In this topic, we will briefly discuss how the Chinese investments are responsible for Pakistan's economical debacle, why the Pakistan's economy is weakening. That will going to be discussed in this topic. So let's start. All the reason leads us to the two most hyped agreement between the China and Pakistan. The first one is China-Pakistan Economical Corridor or CPEC, and second one is Pakistan-China Free Trade Agreement. The first we will going to discuss the China-Pakistan Economical Corridor, which created the vicious hype in the region in the name of economical benefits. And this notoriously flawed project made the whole Pakistan's economy very vulnerable. The multi-billion dollar China-Pakistan Economical Corridor announced in 2015 was aimed at overhauling the Pakistan crumbling infrastructure and linking the nation's southern port of Gwadar to Xinjiang province of China. And this ambitious project actually part of China's Belt and the Road Initiative that actually started in the 2013, and that is the brainchild of the President Xi Jinping. That project was originally estimated to bring $46 billion of investment in Pakistan. But for inflation, that cost gone up to $65 billion in today's time. The CPEC was designed to work on two phases. The first phase was mainly related to power and the transport infrastructure, which was supposed to be carried out with the help of the Chinese money. In the second phase, which began in the last December, comprises of 27 projects. Also, the second phase was far more important because it was focused on boosting the Pakistan manufacturing capabilities and the job creations for the local populations, the local Pakistanis. Local Pakistanis supposed to get the job in these projects. And the Beijing has been pumping the money not only to the Pakistan's economic hubs, but also to the places like the Kashmir, which is a disputed land between the India and the Pakistan, and the northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, which is a tribal dominated regions of Pakistan. Let's know little about the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The province was badly hit by the Islamist terror between the 2014 to till date. Tribal area in these regions are considered a hub for the Islamist terrorism that includes the terror groups affiliated with the terror outfits like the Al-Qaeda and the Haqqani network. The area also have terrible law and order situation. But for Pakistan, investment in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa was source of the blessing according to the some experts in the Pakistan, because the Pakistan never invested a penny for the local investment for the real development of this region, but it was a very risky step took by the Chinese and the risk downward the investment. They were not known about these terrorist outfits, and the Pakistans also never acknowledged these things. So the Chinese investment over there, Chinese invested the huge amounts of money, but all the money gone dry because of this terrorist infestation in those projects. Now we will going to discuss the reason behind the failed investment later in this topic. And now the Baloch dilemma. The Baloch dilemma is one of the reasons behind the CPEC debacle. The Baloch people are traditionally belongs to the Pakistan's largest province by area called the Balochistan. And this area was home for the China's strategically located Gwadar port. And this is the main aim of the China-Pakistan economic corridor. The province has witnessed a number of terrorist attacks in the last 17 years, some of which directed against the Chinese workers and the Chinese investment. Because the Baloch people never accepted the Pakistan as their own country, they want the freedom from the Pakistan. Moreover, they are the most neglected population by Pakistani government. Pakistani army persecuted them, and the government is only there for their provincial immense provinces immense natural resources. The Balochistan provides the natural gas for the Pakistans, but the people in that regions never had the luxury of having their own resources. So they attacked the Pakistani army as if the China is helping the Pakistan to grow economically. Then the Baloch are trying to sabotage all Chinese investment in that region. And because of that, so many Chinese officials were killed by the Baloch rebels. And recently, some Chinese workers were killed by them. And the Chinese government asked the Pakistan government to pay the compensation for their workers, those who lost their life working in that region. But the Pakistan is already in the economically doldrummed position. That is why they are unable to pay the money to the Chinese government. So they have simply denied it. They have simply denied to pay the money because they do not have the money to pay. And now in the next one, so these areas are all come under the risky investment zone. And the China also created some problems not deliberately but without knowing the reason. But those reasons cost both the countries hugely in the investment portfolios. And also the CPEC came under the halt because of these kinds of problems in those regions. Now let's talk about how the CPEC was eating the Pakistan's economy. The Chinese investment in CPEC was never meant for the Pakistan's economical growth. That was only to help the China's own economical and the geopolitical growth. How? Let's understand it. As the China was investing $46 billion in Pakistan's economy, that money never came free. They were giving the Pakistan that money in the form of loans with an hefty interest rates and the hidden clauses. Also, that loan was never meant to be a soft loan. Soft loan means with an very minimal amounts of interest rates. Suppose it will have an interest rate of 0.1% or the 0.2%, maximum of 1%. But the Chinese investment or the Chinese loans came up with an 6 to 8% of an interest rate, which is a very heavy interest rates on this much of money. $46 billion, it's a huge amounts of money. And therefore Pakistans have to give those loans back to the China with an interest rates. That means $46 million plus some amounts of extra billions dollars with that. And that means more than 46 billion that I also mentioned. But due to the inflation, that $46 billion stands at $65 billion in today's time. Over that, it is the time for the COVID-19 pandemic. So all the countries are facing the economic problems that includes the China. China is also facing the economical problems. The China also invested in Pakistan most vulnerable regions like the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and the Balochistan that I have already discussed. So the investment in those regions faced the severe resistance from the local people. Why? Because the local peoples always complained about the Chinese ignorance to their culture and the creeds. The Chinese also liked not to take these peoples in their working classes. Thus, the Chinese investment in those regions almost gone void. And the China also employing their own population, not the Pakistan's populations. But that project was meant to help the Pakistan's economy and the Pakistan's populations, to help them with the jobs, to create the more jobs for the Pakistan's populations. But they did not did it. They simply gave the job to the local Chinese populations for to generate the jobs for the Chinese peoples, not for the Pakistan's peoples. That also angers the Pakistan's populations throughout the country. Those who were supporting that project, they were also come and fight against these projects, to stop this project forcefully, to sabotage these projects. And the Chinese laborers and the workers was also responsible for the locals girls kidnapping, desecrating their stature, and so many other social crimes. The Chinese population came up with an with an huge disrespect to the Chinese, to the disrespect to the Pakistan's population, and that is the results of the desecrations of their own stature, desecrations of the Pakistan's statures, Pakistan's people's statures. These are the reasons the China gave up the hope on these projects, not only the CPEC but the whole Belt and the Road Initiative. The Chinese economy is also shrinking. Chinese economical growth is only 4.9% that was recorded in the last years, and the PowerPoint of Asia is also tilting towards the India from China, because all the investments are coming towards the India, because the Indian government is giving those companies the very attractive offers to do the business in the country. So that projects almost lost the strategic importance. That is why the China halted the project, or almost stopped it unofficially. And these projects were never meant for the Pakistan's good. China was trying to avoid the Malacca choke point through which the China do the business. To avoid the India over these Malacca choke points, they were also trying to import the oil through the Pakistan to the Chinese East Point. But that proves very costly for China, because land route is very costly comparisons to the sea route. And this is also the reasons that China has dumped this project. China is not finding it most viable projects anymore. So the China deliberately dropped this project. Let's talk about the second reasons very briefly. And what is the second reason? The second reason is the free trade agreement between the China and Pakistan, which is killing the Pakistan's economy. The Pakistan and China have the free trade agreement. First phase was concluded in 2012 and the second phase ratified in the 1st February 2021. And the Pakistan single biggest issue related to the economy is import. The Pakistan consumes the goods mostly imported from China and the Middle East, some from the Europe. As the Pakistan export is very less, that led to the massive balance of payment crisis. What is the balance of payment crisis? The balance of payment crisis means the difference between the import and the export. The amounts of goods on the basis of the dollars or the billions of dollars, that is the difference. Amounts of good they are importing or amounts of good they are exporting in reference to the dollars, that is the difference between the balance of payments. They are in the negative balance of payments because their import is higher than the export. So the Pakistan import almost all non-energy items from China because of the free trade agreement between them, as the Pakistan is making not making any valuable goods for the for the Chinese populations, or the consuming, or for the consuming of the Chinese populations. So their export is only $1.86 billion against 12.7 billion import from China. Which is, what is the BOP over there? The BOP is over there is almost $11 billion. So that is eating the Pakistan's foreign reserve. And the Pakistan's compound annual growth rate depreciating at a staggering rate of 6.4%. That means the Pakistan's economy is reducing year after year. And the Pakistan also cannot increase the import duties on the Chinese goods because of the FTA. And this is killing the Pakistan's economy. But Pakistan's immediately undo the free trade agreement with the China for their own sake, and they put high tariffs on the Chinese goods to save its economy. The way the India deal with the Chinese companies, because the China was an aggressor in the Indian northern border and the Indian eastern border. So that is why the Indian governments have to take these tough measures to stop the Chinese businesses to do the business within the country, because the China cannot do the business in the country after having the problems with an Indian government. So that is why the Indian government has showed the way the world how to deal with the Chinese populations. Now, in my view, the Pakistan have to change its own policy of dealing with its own matter and the matter related to the geopolitics. And the Pakistan immediately have to ban all the terrorist group for its own goods to get out of the FATF. Pakistan is in the FATF grey list. So to come out of this FATF grey list, Pakistan have to ban all the terrorist groups. Those who are spreading the terrorism all around the world in the name of Islamophobia. Because that is very bad for the Pakistan's investment. If the Pakistan remains stayed in the FATF grey list, then none of the organizations will ever come to Pakistan and to do the business. And the Pakistan's currency is also falling day in and day out. Against the dollar, it is almost 200 Pakistani rupees. So why the businessmen will come to Pakistan and do the businesses with the Pakistan government? Because of these reasons. And it have to invest its own industry, have to invest in its own industry by encouraging the own startups. But to encourage the startup, they have to fix their flawed educational system first, because their higher studies are not up to the level of the international standard. Their higher studies are very flawed. Their books are very inferior to give the knowledge to the students. So, though some tough improvements Pakistan can change its country's economy, but I think, according to me, it is impossible for the Pakistan to forsake their policies. Because since the inceptions of the Pakistan is trying to hurt its neighbors, trying to hurt the India, trying to hurt the Afghanistan through their terrorism. That is the only thing they are doing since their inceptions. So they have to stop that in terrorism act throughout the world. After that, they will going to improve their economy. Now the question is that what was the capital of Pakistan after independence for how many years? The first option is Lahore for 21 years, second is Karachi for 20 years, third is Islamabad for 26 years, fourth is Peshawar for 15 years, fifth is Hyderabad for 20 years. The second question is broad question, and it is related to the UPSC exams which is conducted in India, and the question is how the India's economic weakness, how the Pakistan's economic weakness will going to affect its neighboring countries. You can mail me to my email address if you want to write me the answer, and my email address is tuhin.power.academy@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.